Chapter 1. A Chance Encounter. The golden hues of the San Diego sunset reflected on the glass walls of the art gallery in Gaslamp Quarter. Angela adjusted her silk dress, her heels clicking against the marble floor. She was nervous. Her photography exhibition was her biggest so far. Mike walked in moments later, tall, confident, with messy dark hair and ocean blue eyes. He was the kind of man who seemed both grounded and effortlessly charming. A successful software developer visiting San Diego for a conference, he had wandered into the gallery, drawn by the lights, and perhaps fate. His eyes caught hers from across the room. For a second, the noise of the room faded. She smiled politely, but something electric passed between them. Chapter 2. The conversation begins. Mike found himself standing in front of one of Angela's pieces, a photograph of a lone surfer against a crimson sunset. "This one feels alive," he said, not realizing she'd approached. Angela grinned. "Thank you. It's one of my favorites." Their conversation flowed easily, from art to travel, then unexpectedly to their personal dreams. He admired her passion. She admired his grounded confidence. As the evening wound down, Mike asked, "Would you like to grab a drink? Maybe somewhere quieter?" Angela hesitated, then bit her lip. "Yes, I'd like that." Chapter 3. Cocktails and Chemistry. They found a rooftop bar overlooking the San Diego skyline. Under the stars, with music in the background, the energy between them grew undeniable. Their knees brushed under the table, her laughter danced in the air, and his gaze often dropped to her lips. At one point, when she leaned closer to whisper something about the ridiculousness of modern art critics, her perfume, vanilla mixed with something floral, enveloped him. His fingers instinctively brushed her wrist. Neither pulled away. Chapter 4. The First Touch. Walking her back to her place near La Jolla, the conversation became quieter, heavier with anticipation. At her doorstep, there was a pause. Neither moved. Then, as if gravity made the decision for them, Mike cupped her face, and their lips met. It was soft at first, exploratory, then deeper, hungrier. Her fingers tangled in his hair as he pressed her against the door, their bodies aligning perfectly. "Do you want to come in?" she whispered against his lips. "More than anything," he breathed. Chapter 5. Night of Discovery. Inside, things escalated quickly. Shoes kicked off, hands roaming over silk and skin. Her dress slid to the floor with a whisper. His shirt followed. Mike's fingertips traced the curve of her back, her thighs. She gasped as his lips found her neck, trailing down. Clothes became irrelevant barriers in the heat of their desire. That night was not rushed. It was exploration, of bodies, of unspoken desires, of the raw connection neither expected, but both surrendered to completely. Chapter 6. Morning Light. Sunlight streamed through the window as Angela stirred awake, finding herself wrapped in strong arms. Mike was already awake, watching her, his thumb lazily tracing circles on her hip. "Morning," he murmured, pressing a kiss to her bare shoulder. "Morning," she echoed, smiling. "I didn't expect last night to be perfect," he offered. She laughed softly. "Yeah, that." Chapter 7. Day of Adventures. Instead of retreating to awkwardness, they spent the day together, walking through Balboa Park, sharing ice cream by the waterfront, teasing each other over who could spot more seals near the cove. Every moment felt natural, as though they'd known each other far longer than 24 hours. Small touches became a language, his hand on her lower back, her fingers brushing his arm as they laughed. Chapter 8. Confessions at Sunset. By evening, watching the sunset from Sunset Cliffs, they grew quiet. "I don't usually do this," Angela admitted, her voice soft. "Let someone in this fast." Mike turned, lifting her chin to meet his gaze. "Me neither. But this feels real, doesn't it?" "It does," she whispered. Chapter 9. Heat rekindled. Back at her apartment, the tension between them exploded once again, this time fiercer, fueled not just by desire, but by something deeper. Angela guided him to the bedroom, her hands running over his chest. Mike responded by lifting her effortlessly, their lips never parting. Clothes scattered, the sheets tangled. Every touch was electric, every kiss an affirmation of what neither dared to speak fully yet. Chapter 10. The Unexpected Offer. Lying together afterward, Mike traced patterns on her skin. I'm supposed to head back tomorrow, but I don't want to. Angela bit her lip. Then don't. What if I stay? Just a few more days. She smiled, pulling him closer. Stay. Chapter 11. Exploring the hidden corners of the city. The next morning, Angela and Mike rented bikes and explored the hidden corners of San Diego. They laughed as they got lost in the winding streets of Little Italy, shared fresh pastries at a local cafe, and wandered through quirky bookstores. At one point, as they browsed vintage records, Mike slipped on a pair of old headphones and offered one side to Angela. Their heads leaned together, the melody surrounding them as though the world outside faded away. Feels like this song was written for us, she whispered. Chapter 12. Rain, Wine, and Closeness. Unexpected rain forced them into a small wine bar. Drops tapped against the windows while they sipped red wine, their legs tangled beneath the table. Mike reached out, brushing a strand of damp hair from her cheek. You're beautiful, you know that, he murmured. She blushed, then leaned forward, capturing his lips in a kiss that tasted of wine and pure longing. The kiss deepened, hands finding their way to skin beneath clothes. Right there in the secluded booth, hidden from view, but not from desire. Chapter 13. The Rooftop Promise. As the rain cleared, they found themselves back at her building, climbing to the rooftop with a bottle of champagne. The city sparkled beneath them. I don't want this to end, Mike confessed, fingers intertwined with hers. Neither do I, Angela admitted. But what happens when you leave? Mike cupped her face. Then maybe I don't. Her breath caught. You mean that? Every word. Chapter 14. Passion Beneath the Stars. On the rooftop, under a sky full of stars, their lips met again, hungry, desperate, filled with the ache of knowing time was precious. Mike laid her down on the warm blanket they had brought, his hands exploring every inch of her body as her fingers pulled him closer. Their love that night wasn't just passion, it was a declaration, raw and real beneath the endless sky. Chapter 15. Decisions of the Heart. The morning was quiet but full of meaning. Over coffee, Mike made the decision official. I called my office, he said, grinning. I extended my stay indefinitely. Angela stared at him, stunned, her heart pounding. Are you serious? Completely. I'm not ready to walk away from this, from you. Tears filled her eyes, but they were happy tears. Then stay. Stay as long as you want, maybe forever.